No! They found us!
Grab the money, we have to away.
Hurry, before they get!
What's up, guys? It's Benny. Always trust your instincts. It's good when a plan comes together and you knew you were right all along, and that's us in the case of Ukraine, when we watched our federal government shovel untold, unlimited bags of cash into Ukraine war, hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars. We thought there must be something else going on here, and it turns out there was. U.S. has intercepted Ukrainian government messages discussing a plot to route money to the Biden re-election, along with a plot to kill Trump. A reminder, Ryan Routh was reaching out to the Ukrainian military to try and get wartime munitions to kill President Trump. This is in the federal documentation. He was going to blow his plane out of the sky. U.S. intelligence intercepted Ukrainian government communication discussing a plot to route millions of dollars, American tax dollars, earmarked for clean energy in the war-torn country. Clean energy. Okay, got it, in Ukraine. Move them to the United States to enrich then President Joe Biden's 2024 re-election campaign and Democrat National Committee. Incredible. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard recently learned of the intercepts and had asked the U.S. Agency for International Development officials to scour for records to see if the plot actually was carried out. Oh, they don't actually know. They don't actually know if they did this, whether a criminal referral should be made to the FBI. Gabbard's team has not found substantive evidence the intercepted allegations were thoroughly investigated during the Biden administration. I wonder why. And communications are not believed to be tied to Russian disinformation efforts, officials said. The declassified report is a summary of raw intercepts from U.S. spy agencies in the late 2022 concerning the alleged plot. Officials have reviewed the files, and there seemed to be a lack of curiosity to investigate under Joe Biden. So Joe Biden wasn't investigating himself. New evidence from ODNI, the Department of Intel, confirms what many suspected. It was manipulated in order to attack Donald Trump, and that
Another matter, over the past few days, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has unveiled shocking new evidence that former President Barack Obama and top aides in the Obama administration conspired to subvert President Trump's 2016 election victory and undermine the democratic will of the American people. While publicly pretending to engage in a peaceful transfer of power, in private, former President Obama went to great and nefarious lengths to try to sow discord among the public and sabotage his successor, President Trump.
Also, obviously, bringing forward the bags of cash in order to fund your own re-election. Man, this is insanely criminal. It's official. Tulsi Gabbard actively investigating intercepted communications. Ukraine officials plotted with USAID to fund, of course, USAID, to funnel $200 million for Biden's re-election in the DNC. Expose it all.
Taxpayer money, route it through a series of transactions, move it into the United States, and launder it into Joe Biden's 2024 campaign and the Democratic National Committee. We have the intercepts for the first time. Tulsi Gabbard's team was willing to declassify them. There is now an investigation underway, beginning with USAID, to look at who was involved, whether any crimes were committed, and if that is the case, to refer that to the FBI in the next few days. Those declassified documents up at justthenews.com. You can go check about it today. Members of Congress have been clamoring all day to get their hands on the documents. I expect Tulsi Gabbard to make a statement later tonight on where things are evolving in her investigation.
Insane. It's exactly what we thought was going to happen. People belong in jail for this. Exactly what we thought was happening at the time of the Ukraine war. So why are we giving so much money to Ukraine? Why does anyone even care? Why is this such an issue? It's money laundering. It's always money laundering. It wasn't Russia collusion. It was Dem collusion using USAID to fund their elections. Remember, they defunded USAID and then suddenly the DNC is out of cash. It was all a big money laundering scam. Latest revelations from ODNI, we now know the truth. Democrats never wanted to stop the war in Ukraine because they've been using the war as a kickback scheme, American tax dollars to fund their political operations. This is the greatest, most corrupt scandal in American history. I don't think these stories are surprising to most Americans. What's surprising is if we actually see accountability. That's right. Ukraine money was being funneled back to the Democrat Party. This is the shock of nobody. It's treason. It is treason. We need a full Ukraine audit. And, well, aged like fine wine. Yes, that's right. Lindsey Graham. I bet both sides were in on it. Look at this. Look at that. Look at what Kamala was holding behind Zelensky, right? Yeah, look at the gross. It's gross. It's gross. And both sides did this. It's disgusting. Both sides did this. Nobody is fully absolved from this. President Trump trying to end the war, I guess. Time for prison sentences to be handed out. Just a reminder that USAID was completely disemboweled, was torn down in a complete shutdown. More wasting our tax dollars, but it wasn't just wasting our tax dollars. It's literally using our tax dollars to funnel through a foreign power, to launder the money to impact our elections. Joe Biden has quite a history in Ukraine, by the way. Joe Biden, of course, famously using Ukraine and pressuring the Ukrainian oligarchs in order to leverage his political ends, including funding of Hunter Biden getting an obscene amount of money, sitting on a board, a Ukrainian natural gas company, Joe Biden meddling and fiddling, closing down Ukrainian banks so that nobody would be able to figure out where their money was being spent before Trump got wise. It's all in the recording, man. It's devastating stuff. It's amazing they've been able to cover it up this much. Zelensky saying, I don't know, that America sent us $177 billion, but we've only received about $75 billion of it. Huh.
Більш точно, така звучала точна цифра, яку підтримували або голосував Конгрес, тощо різні організації. Дивіться, я як президент воюючий дала Україні.
American gave us $177 billion, but only 85 has arrived. So where did the rest of the money, where's the half of the money go? According to Elon Musk, the DNC was being funded by USAID and many BS NGOs that were shut down. DNC in chaos, desperate for cash, suddenly when all of the platforms that was funding it were shut down. Where are the investigations? I'd really like to see it. We're supposed to get an investigation into Act Blue, which was a fundraising vector here that was intended, like that obviously was doing fraudulent payments. Obviously, Act Blue is completely decimated and destroyed. You still have to ask, like, where did the money go? Why is USAID getting such a large portion of the aid to Ukraine? Look at this allocation of $183 billion to Ukraine. Defense, USAID, $40 billion to USAID is going to General Economic Support Fund. What was that? Well, now we know. Now we know. It was simply to just like fund the political campaigns of Joe Biden and then to attack the people who are fighting against it. We received a letter. Mr. Johnson, I'm writing to inform you that your name appears on a list of individuals impeding aid to Ukraine. Look at that. We were impeding aid to Ukraine. I should print this out and hang it on the wall as one of my proudest moments. Yes, I was impeding aid to Ukraine. And yes, we have now been fully vindicated here. Evil. Always fight with the people who fought for you and who had your back, who called these things out from a long ways away. We were right on Ukraine.